How to make better espresso? I'm Mike and I'm going to share my 5 tips for how to make better espresso at home. Hey guys, I'm Mike, espresso expert, the Michael Jordan of espresso, the Messi of the mocha. I've never been called that. Anyway, about 6 years ago, my wife and I, we started to learn everything we could about coffee. That led us to start East BRA Coffee. Then 3 years ago, we took an abandoned storefront in our hometown, a small rural town in Western Pennsylvania, and turned it into the county's first specialty coffee house. And now it's become a destination and one of the top rated specialty coffee houses in America. Anyway, I love espresso. I've tried espressos, I've tried coffees from every state in America, from every craft roaster, or at least from all the big ones. And I enjoy sharing tips and insights on espresso. So there are 5 tips in my opinion, 5 tips for making better espresso. Here we go. First off, let's start with the beans. If you're looking for a good espresso blend, it doesn't necessarily have to be an espresso. You can use single origins. I'm not going to tell you what your flavor profile should or should not taste like. Come on, I'm not that way. But typically blends, because they have more complexity, work well under the pressure of espresso. One of the key things is making sure you have fresh coffee. Now, there's actually a resting period. Most experts or people who have too much time on their hands have proven that pretty much between 10 and 20 days after roasting, the espresso beans will taste the best. Now, I try to shy away from overly dark or overly roasted beans because you're actually tasting the roast or the darkness of the roast more than the flavor of the coffee. So I do look for medium or lighter style espresso coffees to try as espresso. Again, the most important thing is the date. Like I said, the ideal window is 10 to 20 days, supposedly scientifically proven. But I will tell you this, you're making it at home. You want to get that espresso made before 60 days. After 60 days, you're going to start there's going to be deterioration, oxidation in the coffee that is really going to be able to change that flavor noticeably. So as long as you're making your coffee pretty much in that around a month or shorter than that, you'll be fine when it comes to espresso. Now, do I prefer single origins or blends? Like I said, I prefer blends, although some single origins will produce a really nice flavor. It's really depending on how flavorful or how sweet you want your coffee. The natural processed coffees, the honey processed coffees are going to be a lot sweeter. I'm not going to dive into that on this video, but like I said, blends typically will give you the most balance. Single origins can give you great flavor, but it could be intense one direction or the other. So that's tip number 1. Make sure your coffee is essentially fresh and not overly roasted. All right, tip number 2. Actually, this is one that most people don't realize and don't think about. It's water. Now, the thing with water is you want to find a water that does not have a lot of mineral content, that will not change the complexion of the coffee, and something that will not hurt your home espresso machine or your professional espresso machine, whatever. Now, I see a lot of these waters now are coming out alkaline and all this stuff. So please be cautious. There's not extra stuff in that water that's going to change the complexion of the water. Magnesium, for example, can have a major impact on the taste of your coffee and espresso. The other thing, to get this very good extraction and a nice flavor, you need to have hot temperatures. And it should be around 205 degrees at the group head for extracting espresso. Now, most people at home, again, they're not working with the highest tech or commercial equipment, and they're not on like 220 volts or, some of them, a lot of home espresso machines are you just plug into the wall, right? So that takes a longer time to heat up. You're in a hurry to get to work, got to get to work on time, right? So anyway, I found this out at home, right? If it does not heat up well, it will not extract well. So make sure your machine is up to temperature and make sure it's getting to the right temperature. You want it to be around 205 degrees. You can measure that, the water coming out of the group head. But a lot of people at home do not get their machines up to the right temperature because they're not digital and you can't tell what the temperature at the group head is. But that is absolutely key. It's probably the most common mistake people make, is not getting their machine up to temperature when it comes to home brewing espresso. Beyond that, you want to make sure you have a good grind. So that's tip number 4. It's got to be fine enough. Again, in some home grinders, you really need to get them to the very low settings to get it perfect for espresso. You can play with that. You'll notice how fast or how slow the espresso extraction is. The extraction of an espresso shot should be around 24 seconds. So if it takes a lot longer than that, or it stops and starts, or it goes real fast, then you need to change your grind. Follow this channel. I give you all types of tips on grinding espresso. Finally, you need to have enough pressure in your espresso machine because you want it to have a nice crema. This comes with heating up the espresso machine to the right temperature. And as long as it has enough pressure, it will produce a great cup of espresso. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Those are my 5 tips. If you love espresso, you want to learn more about different espressos, every week I review a new coffee from a different specialty coffee roaster from around America. Please consider subscribing. And if you want to learn more tips at home about making espresso, feel free to subscribe, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon. Enjoy.